Hello everyone, it's Freakaidz back with another video in which we will be showing you some tips and tricks for Valorant, while also giving you a brief introduction to the game. Valorant was created by Riot Games, the same company that created League of Legends. It is like a hybrid of CSGO and Overwatch, but has a few things unique to itself. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1. Don't move and shoot if you want to be accurate. In games like Apex Legends and Overwatch, moving and shooting is very important as standing still makes you a very easy target. But in Valorant, moving and shooting will greatly reduce your gun's accuracy. So in order to fire accurately, you need to stay still. This does not apply to shotguns, however, they will be relatively accurate even if you move and shoot. Tip number 2. Alternate between standing and crouching when engaging an enemy. Although you need to stay still in order to get accurate shots, you can still alternate between standing and crouching to avoid making yourself an easy target, as your head level will constantly be changing, preventing the enemy from getting an easy headshot. Please note that a gunfire while crouching will be more accurate than a gunfire while standing. Tip number 3. Spend your money wisely. I know, it's quite a common tip and has become quite repetitive, but it is important. In Valorant, you earn money known as credits by completing in-game actions such as by planting or defusing the spike, which is like the bomb in CSGO, getting kills or winning the round. With money, you can buy better guns, armor and equipment, which also includes special abilities. But money is not infinite and needs to be spent wisely. You need to give adequate attention to everything available in the buy menu. Abilities are extremely useful and should be prioritized. You also get to keep your abilities if you die without using them. You can use the rest of the money to buy a better gun or armor, or save it for even better guns and additional armor. If you have extra money, you can use it to buy good stuff for your teammates who might not have the money to buy it themselves. Tip number 4. Don't use your abilities recklessly. Each agent in Valorant has 4 unique abilities. The first 2 are bought with money, while the third, which is called the signature ability, is free, and the fourth one, which is known as the ultimate ability, is unlocked by collecting ultimate points, which are obtained from getting kills, planting the spike, defusing the spike, or by capturing orbs that spawn in certain locations on the map. The purchasable abilities can only be used for a limited number of times in a round, depending on how many units you can purchase, which is also limited per round, while the signature ability has a cooldown period that varies from agent to agent, and the ultimate ability can take a lot of time to re-unlock once used. So it is important to use your abilities carefully, as they can cause harm to your enemies and to your teammates. Tip number 5. Pay attention to footsteps. Footsteps are extremely important as they help in determining the position of a nearby enemy. You must always listen keenly to footsteps while also shift walking or crouch walking to avoid producing footsteps yourself. Only run when it is safe or if there is not enough time. Tip number 6. Don't rush without the knowledge of enemy positions. Rushing in without paying attention to the position of the enemy will most likely result in an early death. To avoid this, either use your abilities to find out the location of the enemy team or take it nice and slow, checking corners, vantage points and other positions where the enemy might be hiding. Tip number 7. Get away from the spike if it is about to explode. Unlike CSGO, the spike in Valorant has a massive blast radius and anyone inside it will die instantly. If the spike is about to explode and you are sure that no one will be able to defuse it, get away from it to avoid dying from its explosion and losing your items. After the spike detonates, a black sphere will emerge from the point of detonation and expand up to the blast radius. If you enter the sphere at any point, you die instantly. A good way to know when it is safe to leave the spike is when a white orb forms inside it, after which it will be too late to defuse the spike. Tip number 7. The ADS in Valorant is not what you think it is. In games like Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege, ADS greatly increases your accuracy with no significant downsides. In Valorant, however, the ADS does have some serious drawbacks. While it does increase the gun's accuracy, it reduces its rate of fire. Certain weapons in the game, such as the Bulldog Assault Rifle and Stinger SMG, have the firing mode set to a 3-round burst when ADSing and an automatic mode when hip firing. This cannot be changed by the player. Tip number 9. The spike in Valorant has two stages of defusing. In Valorant, the spike detonates 45 seconds after being planted, which is longer as compared to 40 seconds in CSGO. There are no defuse gates in Valorant, but the defusal process of the spike has two stages, separated by a white line on the defuse meter. If one stage is completed, you can safely stop defusing, kill the remaining enemies, and complete the second stage without having to start a defusal from scratch. You can also complete both stages in one go. The spike takes 7.5 seconds to defuse. Tip number 10. Different guns have different zoom levels. In Valorant, the zoom provided by ADS is different on each type of weapon. SMGs have 1.15 times zoom, assault rifles have a 1.25 times zoom, the Guardian semi-automatic sniper has a 1.5 times zoom, and the Martian and Operator sniper rifles can be used in 2.5 or 5 times zoom. Tip number 11. The game has special effects to tell you when an enemy or ally is using their ability. Each agent has special voice lines depending if they are on the enemy or the friendly team. You can hear your teammates' voice lines if they are using any of their abilities, and the enemies when they are using their ultimate ability. The abilities have their own sound effects when used, which can be listened to in order to determine who, when and where is using them. A special case is when the agent Omen is using his ultimate ability, which allows him to teleport to any part of the map. When an Omen is using his ultimate ability, apart from his voice line, the minimap starts to burn in some sort of black flame. This can be used to determine if he is using his ultimate ability. Tip number 12. There are several teleporter locations on the mind map which can be used by anyone to cover large distances on the map easily or change flanks. Whenever someone uses a teleporter, a loud sound can be heard, alerting nearby players about the user's whereabouts, which is a small room sealed by an indestructible door that can only be opened from the inside by walking close to it. Each portal has a specific entry and exit point. You can fake a teleport by throwing an ability into the teleporter, such as Sage's Slow Orb. Tip number 13. Use doors to block certain routes. There are doors installed on certain choke points on the Ascent map which can be activated by using the switches next to them. You can use this to block certain routes to the objective, making defense easier. Keep in mind that the doors can be destroyed by sufficient gunfire. The door has lights on it which, when blue, indicate that the door has full health. As the door gets closer to 0 health, the color of the lights changes to red. Well, that's all we have for you guys. We hope that these tips will help you become a better Valorant player, get you more kills and more wins. Peace out.